Hello and welcome to this new edition of the Council at a Glance. I'm Ghislain Forcier, Communications Manager at Town of Brome Lake. It's good to be back, and I'm with Mr. Mayor Richard Burcombe. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
Very well, thank you, Ghislain, and welcome back.
Thank you.
You had 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened during your vacation,
Yeah.
and we have quite a bit to talk about, a lot of information. And
First, Mr. Mayor, what's the status of the work for the Trestle Cove walkways?
Well, the bridges are being already fabricated. They're in the process of being built in Longueuil by the company. And the company that was given the contract to install them is presently working in Trestle Cove. They've put in the posts for the base on land. Now they're working on the island, but they're also using the posts that were left by the CP rail and cut off in the lake, in the water. And they're using that to build a platform with a scaffolding, and then they'll bring the bridge in 2 parts and the other bridge in 2 parts, and they'll use the platform that they built up to put the 2 parts on and join it together, and then it's only a temporary, the scaffolding that's there will be taken out once the bridges are installed. But it's going well, and we're hoping to install them, the company install them at the beginning or mid-November. And we're going to make sure it's filmed. We're going to make sure that the people, our citizens, are well aware, because I mean, it's a bad time of year. The middle of November could be cold depending on the weather and snowy. So, but we're going to film it and look at other options too to inform the population.
Yeah. Also, Mr. Mayor, on Monday's meeting, the town submitted 2 requests to the MTQ.
Yes, that's correct. There was 2 requests for pedestrian crossings. The first one's at the bottom of Fisher Hill. Once the bridges are installed at Trestle Cove, naturally, to join the other part of the linear path, they have to cross Lakeside Road, so there will be a lot of people crossing next spring especially, and summer and fall, and consequently we requested a crossing there. The next one's on Bonneville Road in front of Domaine Jolivin. Since the hotel's been renovated, there's a lot of people going there now, especially on weekends, and probably during the season they go out on the lake and they cross with their kayaks and that. So, and it's in a dangerous area. So we've sent a resolution along with the one for the bottom of Fisher Hill to be installed also there. So the 2 requests.
Yeah. And Mr. Mayor, now let's go back to the 14 Maple Street project. There was a public consultation in the recent days.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago we had the public consultation where we met the people in the zones concerned about the change from Amalgamated Industries, which is presently located at the corner of Academy and Victoria. They wish to move to the where Bolton Tech was at 14 Maple. Consequently, since Bolton Tech ceased operations approximately a year, 2 years ago, anybody else coming in with a different, instead of polishing stainless steel, they have to make another request, and which they did. And of course, the citizens in the areas concerned could oppose it if they wish to. During the public consultation, we had a lot of people that brought up their concerns. So the owner decided to meet with these people at his factory presently at the corner of Victoria and Academy. And they came a week ago Friday, and they visited it, and they were content that the noise and the coming and going of the semi-trailers, which are not very much, and the noise is very limited, that they were very comfortable with having Amalgamated Industries move to this site of 14 Maple. So it just goes to show you the collaboration between how people, when they want to sit down and look at something and try to solve a problem, that they're able to do it, and this is a great example of it. So.
There will be a call for tenders for professional engineering services for the reconstruction of the Blackwood Dam.
Yes, that's correct. We only had one tender that was given to us, and from that it was $255,000. And since there was only one company that put in a tender, we have the right to negotiate with that one or refuse it. We decided to negotiate with them, and we ended up saving $7,500. So the total is $246,000 for the professional services for the Blackwood Dam.
And finally, Mr. Mayor, let's take a look back at the Women's Cancer's Walk, which achieved a record on last Sunday.
Yes, this year they received $110,000. I know it has increased because they wanted to raise either 130 or 135 to reach 1 million that they've been able to raise in 18 years. That's their 18th edition this year. And I'm hoping that they're able to reach the 1 million mark. But the people that have worked so hard for this walk and the organization of it, there's over 100 volunteers that volunteered their time, whether it's organizing it, whether it's the direction of the traffic, putting up signs or whatever. And the organizers and all the volunteers that work for it should be commended for their real work that went into this year after year after year. And it just goes to show you also that volunteers is the heart of Town of Brome Lake. And when it comes time to need volunteers, they're always there they always stand up and they're ready to help a great cause like this. So bravo to all of them.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our Council at a Glance October edition. I'm with Mr. Mayor. It's the first shooting we have in the at the old town hall.
Yeah. The old new town
the
hall.
The old renovated town hall.
That's right.
We like it.
Yes, it's. I'm very proud as mayor, and also the elected officials, and the majority of the citizens are glad that we preserved this historic building and the patrimony, the heritage that goes into this corner here. Because what were we going to do with the building? The condition it was inside, and now it's we have ample space. All the land management is now relocated here for permits and stuff like that. So it's great. I'm really happy we did it, and we're going to have an opening day. I'm not sure of the date yet, but we're going to have an open day probably the first Saturday of November in the morning from 9 till noon or 9 till 1, but it's yet to be confirmed. But that will be out in the info letter and on the website, and all the public can come and visit it and see what it is, because it's their building. Yeah. It's a taxpayer's building. So. Yeah.
I just want to remind you that the next council meeting will take place on November 4th at 7 p.m. at Centre Lac-Brome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ghislain, and we'll see you at the beginning of November for the 14th edition of the capsule, and maybe there'll be another new look. With or without the beard, but
we don't know. It's a surprise.
But I'm jealous, really, because especially of your hair.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you everybody, for listening.